inside the Niger Delta.
How the brewing conflict of interest between the presidency and the National Assembly over the leadership of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) will play out in the weeks ahead has become a topical issue in the Niger Delta. Barely days after the Joy Nunye-led interim management was inaugurated to oversee the forensic audit of the NDDC as directed by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Senate had gone ahead to confirm the appointment of members of a substantive governing board and asking them to immediately take over the affairs of the commission. This report, correspondent Ekena Amifuri takes a look at the arguments for and against the setting up of an interim management for the NDDC.
Shortly after their inauguration, members of the new interim management of the NDDC met with staff members to unveil their mission statements. The new leaders of the NDDC appointed to oversee its forensic audit have also taken it upon themselves to deliver a resuscitated commission to the incoming board. This objective was reiterated by Acting Managing Director of the NDDC, Joy Nunye, during a recent working visit to Governor Nyesom Wike at Government House, Port Harcourt.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has directed that we ensure that development and accountability takes place now in the Commission. We're here, Your Excellency, to encourage you that as a Commission and as an interim management, we will work with you so that we can achieve true development in our rural communities especially.
In spite of her avowed commitment to resuscitating an ailing NDDC, Joy Nunye lacks the recognition and support of the Senate. Before her appointment as Acting Managing Director, the Ogoni-born lawyer was nominated to represent Rivers State in the incoming governing board of the NDDC. In the meantime, she may have forfeited that position for refusing to appear before the Senate for screening and confirmation of her appointment.
And the Senate did not approve the nomination of Dr. Joy Imebi Nunye, member representing Rivers State. As soon as we conclude on this process, the confirmation, I'm sure that any other structure that exists now is vitiated.
In exercising its legal authority, the Senate has asked the new substantive governing board to immediately take over the affairs of the NDDC, as the act establishing the commission does not recognize an interim management currently led by Joy Nunye. However, the Senate may have gone beyond its constitutional powers in issuing such a directive. The senators, through their action, leave no one in doubt that they are not comfortable with the state of affairs in the NDDC. The new NDDC boss, however, alleges that some of the senators have taken juicy contracts of the NDDC without executing them.
But I know where political interference has come from. I'm not going to compromise. And I want to say that the contract as collection agent, so whether you collect, you go to their office or not, you receive the money, has been suspended by me. We're not going to pay anybody 1 billion naira every month. I mean, that is wicked. 1 billion every month can put monopomps in rural communities in the Niger Delta, can buy books, can set up the primary health centers. Why would anyone do that? So that has been suspended. The 3% from Starline has been, of course, it's not going to be renewed. That too is over. So that's why we're under pressure. But I laugh because those who live in glass houses should never throw stones.
In the estimation of most Niger Deltans, the NDDC has performed far below average on its mandate to transform the Niger Delta, owing to leadership failure in the system. In trying to get the NDDC back on its feet, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari has in less than 4 years appointed 5 transitional management teams to pilot the Commission's affairs, but that seems not to have addressed the trouble with the NDDC.
Those who fought for this NDDC, this was not what they thought of for the development of the people of Niger Delta and their areas. NDDC has collapsed. So you know that you have that opportunity. Just ask yourself, if I'm going to stay here for 1 day, if I'm going to stay here for 1 month, if I'm going to stay here for 3 months, what can I show that I did? If for nothing, that you are able to put back NDDC The corruption is too much.
Obviously, the recent action of the Senate leaves it on a collision course with the presidency over the current state of affairs in the NDDC. The situation has also divided stakeholders in the Niger Delta. While a faction of the Ijaw Youth Council has called for the sack of Niger Delta Minister Godswill Akpabio over the recent turn of events in the NDDC, a rival faction of the group recently paid him a solidarity visit in Abuja.
We reject totally the constitution of an interim management committee to manage the affairs of the NDDC. The reasons are these. Number one, interim management committee is unknown to the NDDC Act. It is an illegality.
What you are doing is the right thing. And we know that once you fight corruption, corruption will always fight back. And that is what is happening. Honourable Minister, your people is behind you. And we love you because we know that you're a performer and we know that you will succeed.
Recently, some protesters from the Niger Delta region stormed the National Assembly to declare their support for Senator Akpabio.
We are here to support him. Nobody should distract him. What he did in Akwa Ibom State when he was a governor for 8 years, we believe that he can do the same thing in the Niger Delta region.
In addressing the prevailing conflict of interest in the NDDC, the legislative and executive arms of government are expected to quickly arrive at a compromise to enable the Commission to deliver on its mandates as an intervention agency in the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta,